Rufus. Rufus, what is the matter with you? The sun is barely up. Go bother somebody else. Rufus, flea-bitten son of a bitch, go bother somebody else. Oh, son of a... Damn it! Oh, to hell! Damn it, Rufus! Yes, Marcus, I want to commend you on your understanding of life insurance and especially the grasp you seem to have on this unique term product. It's not everyone who can appreciate the value of this type of policy in protecting their loved ones from harm. Now, as I mentioned, I think a policy with a $100,000 face value would meet your needs very nicely. And the initial premium for that policy is a very reasonable $320. No, that was 300. No, that's a year, not a month. What? No, I'm sorry you can't hear me. No, Marcus, I didn't mean to imply you're hard of hearing. No, Marcus, Oh, that ill-bred, despicable son of a bitch!
Boy, those were great strawberries, Martha. I don't think we've had any that sweet and juicy since we moved.
They looked really good on the shelf, and the produce guy said they were local.
Well, anyway, good bacon, good eggs, good berries. What more could you ask for? Well, maybe a cup of coffee.
Let me get that?
No, I haven't finished my breakfast yet.
Oh, I thought you were done.
Not till I finish my coffee.
My mistake.
Yeah, you know, Martha, when we moved here, I made the decision I was not going to let my meals be interrupted anymore.
Now that you're not a farmer anymore.
Yeah, I know it was my decision to move from the farm to the suburbs, but I'll stand by that decision. I don't make decisions lightly, you know.
But when you do, that's the end of it.
You're damn right.
Morning, John. It's gonna be a hot one today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a scorcher. Hey, is Charlie in?
Sure. We slept in late today. We had a late breakfast. It's so peaceful around here. John, what happened to your face?
Nothing, it's just a shaving accident. I'll live.
Oh, good. Coffee?
No, thanks, I can only stay a minute. Charlie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, John.
Charlie, put these hearing aids on. You'll miss the whole conversation if you don't. You know, you can't read his lips the way you can mine.
You know I can hear fine without them, Martha.
Charlie, I don't care if you have 20/20 hearing. We paid almost $1,000 for those hearing aids and we're gonna get our money's worth. Jeff is a doorknob with them.
I heard that. So, John, sit down. If you're not here for Martha's coffee, what brings you over on a work day?
I think you know, Charlie. It's your dog. Again.
Rufus?
How many dogs you got, Charlie?
I got just the one, but the great big friendly one, the one that plays with all the kids.
I don't dispute that your dog is friendly.
Yeah, the kids love him.
I'm here because he makes too much noise.
Yeah, Rufus and the kids can make quite a ruckus sometimes, but you gotta love them.
I agree, Charlie. Him and the kids can make a lot of noise, but they're in school all day. Rufus isn't.
Yeah, he'd probably enjoy it too, but I don't think they'd take him.
What?
He's a pretty smart dog, though.
Charlie, you didn't come here to talk about how smart your dog is.
Yeah? Didn't you say you had a point you were coming to?
Yes, Charlie, your dog barks too much.
Yeah?
Now, last time we talked, you said you were going to get him a bark control collar. Whatever happened to that plan?
Waste of money. Have you ever felt one of those things, John? They really hurt.
They're supposed to hurt, Charlie. That's what makes them a training aid. And besides, I've felt them. They don't hurt that much.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't think they work, and they're a waste of money.
Shut up your damn dog. He's a disruptive nuisance, and I don't want to hear it anymore.
John, Rufus is my damn dog. He's in my damn yard, and if he wants to bark, it's his damn right to do so. He's a dog. That's what dogs do.
Well, he wasn't in your yard at 5 a.m. this morning, and I'm pretty sure he spends more time around my house than yours. And if he's gonna bark, I don't want to hear it.
Well then, plug your ears. That's what I do every time you start up that hot rod of yours.
It's not the same thing, Charlie, and you know it. I only work on my car once or twice a month. Your dog barks all the time. And besides, I pay my taxes. I have a right to make a little noise every once in a while.
And Rufus doesn't.
What? Pay taxes? Your dog is a worthless mutt, Charlie. He doesn't pay taxes, and he doesn't have any damned rights.
Don't call my dog a mutt. He's got more breeding than you do.
Your dog is a mutt.
And you call that fluffball of yours a dog? I don't think you know what a dog is.
I think that about does it, Charlie. We're trading insults on our dogs now, and just keep that animal quiet. Martha?
You know, Charlie, John is not totally out of line. Rufus does bark a lot, and maybe that's what he's supposed to do, but we're not on the farm anymore.
Yeah, and some days I regret that decision.
You know, Charlie, you regretted it when you couldn't make the payments to the bank. You regretted it when that monthly payment came due and you couldn't make it. We did okay on the sale of the farm, and with that, and with the money you make repairing lawnmowers, we're gonna do okay. Of course we miss the farm, but selling it was the right decision. And it's a nice place we've moved to.
Yeah, if you like the neighbors.
It's not the kind of place we grew up. But the neighbors are nice. Maybe too many of them, but they're good people. And John Rock is good people too.
Yeah, I suppose. Even if you can't tell a dog from a dust mop.
Well, you'll get over it. He'll cool off. Everybody will be fine, and it'll go right back to where it used to be.
Yeah, I suppose. Shih Tzu. What kind of a dog is that?
I have no idea.
Mr. Walker?
Yeah, I'm Charlie Walker.
Mr. Walker, I'm Officer Simpson with the Office of Animal Control. I believe you know Mr. Rock. Mr. Rock presented my office with a petition signed by 25 of your neighbors that your dog, through his excessive and incessant barking, has become a public nuisance, and that demands that he be dealt with appropriately.
What do you mean demands? I am dealing with him appropriately.
Mr. Walker, according to Mr. Rock, you agreed to go and put a bark collar on your dog when you spoke with him about 2 weeks ago.
No, I told him there was no way I was going to put one of those things on my dog.
Well, Mr. Rock apparently thought that you had agreed to deal with the situation.
Well, then that's Mr. Rock's problem. What am I supposed to do? He's a dog. Dogs bark.
Mr. Walker, it's not even the responsibility or even the purview of my office to suggest what to do with the problem of your dog. But I have been served with this petition, and it is my responsibility to address the issues raised therein. If I am unable to obtain a solution through an informal mean, the next step will be for me to obtain a court order to do so. The standard solutions that generally apply in situations such as this is you either keep your dog inside or you make him quiet. If you can't do that, your dog will have to be destroyed.
Destroyed? I don't know what that means. I've had crops destroyed. I've had cars destroyed. But when you're referring to my dog, what do you mean, destroyed?
He'll have to be euthanized.
You mean killed?
We don't like to use that term. We prefer euthanized. It's much more humane.
Yeah, but you mean killed.
Yes, Mr. Walker, we mean killed.
Charlie? Charlie, are you okay? Who was at the door?
Nobody.
Nobody. Don't give me that nobody stuff. Who was at the door?
Animal control.
Who?
It was the dog catcher. It seems that our good neighbor John Rock has gotten together a petition declaring our dog a public nuisance.
Petition? What kind of petition? Who signed it?
Well, apparently John Rock and about 24 other good people from the neighborhood. But it was John that started it, I'll tell you that.
But what does it say exactly?
Here it is if you want to read it.
I do want to read it.
Apparently it says we have to deal with our dog appropriately, who's been declared a public nuisance.
Can they do that? I mean, what are we supposed to do?
Well, the dog catcher said we have 3 choices. We can keep him quiet, we can keep him inside, or we can put him down. You know, we've tried to keep him quiet, and that sure hasn't worked.
Yeah, I remember when you yelled at him, and he yelled right back at you.
Yeah, Martha, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he has a big heart. You know, but keeping him inside, he's a big dog. I don't think he's going to fit in our bed either.
No, probably not.
And when I really think about it, I'd probably rather sleep with you anyway.
Oh, Charlie, be careful or I'll have you sleeping outside with Rufus.
You know, I'm surprised that so many of our
Me
neighbors
too.
think Rufus is such a public nuisance. But you know what? They did sign that petition.
We're kind of in a tough spot. We can't keep him in, and we can't keep him quiet.
Martha, I've been around animals my whole
I
life,
know.
and I've had to put down my share of old or hurt animals. But I have never had to put one down for doing what it's supposed to do. You know, we got cats running wild in the neighborhood, and I suppose they're out there terrorizing the birds and the mice. That's what cats do. Dogs bark, that's what they do.
So what do you suggest? What are we going to do, Charlie?
Well, I suppose we could have the dog catcher put him down, but this doesn't seem right.
Oh, are you going to shoot him?
That's not what I'm thinking, Martha. But if it's the neighbors that think he's such a problem, I figure they should be part of the solution. That's my decision.
And that's the end of it.
Charlie Walker, what's the matter with you? Putting a sign like that out for the kids to see?
Well, I figure if it's the public he's offended, then they're the ones ought to see justice done.
Charlie, what is the matter with you? You cannot kill your dog like that. It's immoral. And you know what? It's probably illegal too.
Hey, Maggie, Rufus is my dog, and you signed a petition declaring him a public nuisance. I'm just doing what you told me to do. I'm going to euthanize the dog.
Charlie, I never said any such thing. I said he barked too much. I did not say for you to kill him.
It's the only choice the dog catcher gave me. What am I supposed to do?
Well, I never meant for you to kill him, especially not here in your front yard for the kids to see.
Hey, we'll see you on Sunday.
What you doing, Mr. Walker?
Oh, hi, Bonnie. I'm building a gallows.
What's a gallows, Mr. Walker?
Well, it's kind of a platform with a pole on it and an arm that you can hang things from.
Like Rufus?
Yeah, like Rufus. You know, I got the plans off the internet. It's amazing what you can get on the internet these days. Do you want to help?
No. I'd rather play with Rufus. Is he around?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Rufus.
Rufus! Rufus, come here. Come here. Does Rufus know he's going to die, Mr. Walker?
Oh, no, Bonnie, I don't think so. Rufus is a dog, and dogs don't think about the same thing that people do.
Is Rufus going to heaven, Mr. Walker?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure Rufus is going to go to heaven.
That's good, Mr. Walker. I guess I was scared because my mom said that dogs don't have souls.
Well, I'll bet she was talking about lesser animals like goldfish. You got a soul, don't you, Rufus? See there?
Where'd you learn to build a gallows, Mr. Walker?
Well, it's not anything fancy. It's just a platform with an arm on it and to hold the noose and a trapdoor to open up. And you know what? I had nearly enough lumber out behind the house to build the whole thing. I did have to buy a pole for the support because that's really got to be strong, because if it gets springy, the neck won't break, and that's not humane.
What's that thing you were toasting, Mr. Walker?
Oh, well, that's a trap door, Bonnie. Whenever I pull this lever, the door opens and whatever's on top of it falls through. You know, I have to make sure that it works when there's a lot of weight on it.
So, you gonna paint it, Mr. Walker?
Well, that's kind of a neat idea. I thought about it, but then I realized I might use most of the lumber for something else, so paint's a problem.
You know, Mr. Walker, if it was some nice color like pink, it might make Rufus feel better.
Well, yeah, that's a nice thought, Bonnie, but I don't think Rufus would appreciate it. He's colorblind.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry Rufus is colorblind. He doesn't look like he's being much help.
Oh, yeah, he's been watching, but you know, building a gallows is kind of a solitary effort.
Mom said that you're pretty sad on killing Rufus. She says you made a decision.
Well, yeah, and I thought it was a good decision when I made it. And you know, I usually stand by my decisions once I make them. I've heard that you can get ulcers by being indecisive.
Yeah, Mom says all the stuff about Rufus is giving her ulcers.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Bonnie. Well, maybe that'll go away because this is almost over and her ulcers will disappear, I'm sure.
Well, I gotta go, Mr. Walker.
Are you coming on Sunday?
No, I don't think so, Mr. Walker. My mom says that we're going to visit my Aunt Paula. I don't know, though. I've never met my Aunt Paula.
All right, come on, Rufus, let's get this thing done. Maggie, what is this, a lynch mob?
Charlie, we've gotten together and signed another petition.
Another petition? Wasn't the first one enough?
No, this one says that we don't mind Rufus's barking and that we demand you take down your gallows and that you do not kill your dog.
Maggie, you're the one that told me Rufus was a public nuisance and had to be destroyed.
No, Charlie, we never said for you to kill your dog.
Well, maybe, but you told the dog catcher he was a nuisance and he told me to kill him.
Well, that's just not right.
Well, maybe not, but it's the law. You got Rufus charged with a crime. You can't change that.
That's a pretty extreme interpretation.
Yeah, Well, listen, all of you. I've made my decision, and once I've made my decision, that's the end of it. Rufus is going to be executed on Sunday. Now, leave us in peace and get out of my yard.
Hey, this is civilized America, not the Wild Wild West. Who appointed you judge, jury, and executioner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our neighborhood where we raise our kids. We don't hang people here.
Dogs either.
Will you look at this newspaper article, Charlie? It makes me look like the devil himself. Now, damn it, this nonsense has got to stop. It's right there covering almost the entire page, Charlie. Look, a picture of you and Rufus and the dog and the gallows, Charlie. Listen to this. Local resident Charles Walker announces the public execution of his dog, Rufus. Citing complaints of several residents, especially close neighbor John Rock, Mr. Walker said he felt he had no choice but to end his dog's life. And listen to this. What it says about me, Charlie. Asked what he thought about Mr. Walker's solution. Complaining, John Rock said, I don't pretend to understand Charlie's thinking, but it's his dog, his problem, and his solution. Charlie, I never meant for you to execute your dog. Hell, I never meant for the entire world to think it was my fault. This makes me look like Pontius Pilate condemning Jesus Christ to die on a cross.
John, sometimes you gotta do things that aren't popular. And the things that are popular aren't always the things that are right.
Damn it, Charlie, this whole thing is blown up way out of proportion. It was just a barking dog, and now it's a crucifixion.
I've got my copy, John, thank you.
Oh, hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Mrs. Walker.
Are you here to see Mr. Walker?
No, not really, Mrs. Walker.
Are you here to see me?
No, I brought Rufus a present.
Oh, would you like to give it to him?
I was wondering if maybe you could give it to him for me.
I could do that. What is it?
It's a St. Francis charm for Rufus's collar. St. Francis is the saint who protects it.
Well, thank you, Bonnie. I'll be sure he gets it.
No, you have to make sure that you put it on him, okay?
Okay, I can do that.
And make sure Mr. Walker doesn't take it off of Rufus when he hangs him, okay?
Okay.
That's really important, Mrs. Walker, because if he does take it off, Rufus might not get into heaven.
Oh, I'll tell him, Bonnie.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker.
Cute kid. It's a sad day when a pet's life has to come to an end, and it's an even sadder day when that end is a result of a pet's inability to conform to the norms of polite society. Rufus, you've been condemned to die by your neighbors. We're now going to carry out that sentence. May God speed you on your journey wherever that may lead.
What are you doing here, Charlie?
I'm gonna hang my dog. He's been declared a public nuisance.
You got a permit for that?
I need a permit?
Oh, you need a permit for about anything these days, Charlie.
Well, can you give me one?
Sorry, I can't issue you one. You gotta go to the county clerk's office, but she's closed right now.
Well, how about I get one tomorrow?
That's fine, then you can reschedule this execution.
But I was wanting to get it over with today. If I have to reschedule it, I got a lot of people here who are going to be very disappointed. I'm afraid they might riot.
You got a point there, Charlie. You got quite a crowd here.
Yeah, I didn't invite them.
I think your sign would suggest otherwise, Charlie.
Yeah, well, maybe you're right. I suppose I need a permit for that too.
Oh yeah, and you need a crowd control permit, a parking permit. You got one of those, Charlie?
That's an awful lot of paperwork. How about we just get it over with and everybody can go home?
I'm sorry, Charlie, you can't do it. If you do, I'll have to arrest you. And I'm not sure you're allowed to conduct an execution without a license anyway. You got one of those, Charlie?
License? What kind of license?
And I think animal control has to sign off on it too. You done that, Joe?
Tom, I'm just trying to do what's right here. The neighbors declared Rufus a public nuisance. The dog catcher told me the only good choice I had was to destroy him. Tom, I'm just trying my best to do what's right here. Right, what do you want to do?
Well, are you familiar with the animal reassignment program? Look, when an animal's declared a nuisance in one venue, we can move him to another venue and give him a new chance.
You mean like, what, the witness protection program?
Yeah, kind of like that.
And you mentioned new venue. What do you mean by that?
Well, let's say we move it from your house to John Rock's house, right? That's a new venue. And if no one complains, well, he doesn't have to be destroyed.
Just like that.
Pretty much. Pretty much, of course, all parties, the current owner and the previous owner, have to sign off. So how about it, John? Are you amenable to this change in venue?
I don't know, Tom. I already have a dog.
What do you say, John? You know, I'm not sure John liked the idea, but he was pretty worried about how that first article in the paper made him look.
Well, he's in the insurance business, and image is pretty important to him. How do you think he feels about the article?
Well, here it is. The life of Rufus, the public nuisance, was spared yesterday when neighborhood organizer John Rock called off the dogs.
Oh, did they say that really?
That's a real turn
that's
of a
good.
phrase. Rock, who had organized a petition to have his neighbor's dog destroyed, accepted a plea agreement to put forth by the dog's owner, Charles Walker.
That's you, Charlie. Read your quote again.
Let's see. Walker, who was prepared to euthanize his animal pursuant to demands by the neighbors, turned philosophical as he said, "It's unfortunate when an individual uses his influence to turn a community against a defenseless animal. I'm glad a higher power intervened."
A higher power, Charlie? Oh, are you turning religious?
I was talking about the constable, Martha.
Oh, I thought maybe.
Well, I can't say I was happy having my decisions overturned. But you know, it's going to work. And you know what? Rufus is probably happier with this plan,
yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And it seems to go along with how the neighbors now say they feel.
Yeah, but my concern is that I don't know how anything's going to change. Rufus is over there on the porch, lying down like he always does. His dog bowl is right there next to him. I don't know what makes you think that anything will change. What if he continues to bark? What if the neighbors complain?
Martha, I've said it all on record. Here it is. I'm sure the neighbors are going to think twice before they complain again. But if they do,
I'll just refer them to John Rock. After all, Rufus is his dog now. Blast you, Charlie Walker!